Is it somebody right on my core? This is the moment you're meant to know.
Well, hello there, sunflowers, and how are you guys today? Well, I'm here to do a reading on Hilary Duff and her relationship with her sister, Haley Duff, who is just a few years older than her, and allegedly they haven't been talking to each other or haven't been seen in the public eye since 2019, which was slightly before the pandemic / during the pandemic at the very beginning. So you just have to wonder what has happened within the last 6 to 7 years, and why aren't they in communication with each other? However, this is what I have found according to Google before I pull out some cards. If you're curious, she just recently came out with an album, so congratulations to Hilary Duff on that. Has she made a music comeback? Is this like her grand return to the music? Because I know Jessica Simpson did something similar. So is this like the age of the return of like the oldies but the goodies? Please let me know down below in the comments. However, Hilary Duff has made a album release, and in this album she has released a few songs. A few songs, quite a bit of songs, but one song in particular which she said that she was wavering back and forth if she should even include it in the album or not, which is called, hold up, it's gonna come to me, We Don't Talk, which immediately fans started speculating, did Hilary make a song about her sister? And the answer is yes, she did make a song about her sister. She did come out and say it. She was just like, yes, that song was about my sister and the pains of what it feels like to have her not in my life. That's like an empty area, an empty space, an empty time in my life. It's like a void. She didn't say all that, but like I'm trying to like convey the sense of how she feels the loss of not having her sister in her life. So then you gotta wonder, what is it? Is it like the same thing that goes on with Tia and Tamara Maui, where one sibling could be allegedly jealous of the other one? I don't know. That was one speculation. However, Google gave me allegedly a plethora of reasons why they're at odds with each other. Allegedly, one is involving the fact that they have differing political views, and they say there are 3 things that could break up a marriage, and one of them is politics. So because of that, I can see how that could break up their relationship, because how could you, if we can't see and think alike, how can we walk together? And allegedly, Haley is a conservative and Hilary is a liberal. And apparently Hilary's husband and the family in general might be liberals. So it seems like Haley might kind of like be like the odd one out, but not like in the black sheep kind of, when there's like that kind of tension, you will already, I don't want to dive too deep into maybe like feeling like the black sheep, or like feeling like maybe one sibling was like the star child, or as they say, the golden child. But another thing is conflicting. They have conflict with spouses. Now, I'm not sure if their spouses just didn't like each other, if they didn't like each other's spouses, or if it was like one-sided beef with a spouse. So because of that could allegedly been something else that could have torn her and her sister apart, and why they're not so longer close. And things like that. Those things take years to build upon before you guys suddenly decide to completely cut each other out of each other's life. And it seems like it was a kind of a mutual thing, but it sounds like from Hilary's side that she is missing her sister. So it seemed like it was mutual, but like mutual in the sense of I have to accept that this is happening kind of thing. Not that mutual, as in I agree that we should not be dealing with each other. And then lastly, the last thing that could have been cited for, like, listen, like I said, these are a lot of reasons that could potentially lead to breakups, and they're all really good ones too. And then we have a potential sibling jealousy, which a lot of fans are speculating is the real root and cause and reason, and everything else is just hoopla. So, I just want to pull some cards to find out and read out, because I'm curious, because Hilary seems to be really hurt still that she has no connection with her sister. Her older sister, I guess I should say at this point. And I get how it is, when you have like an older sibling and you like maybe look up to that older sibling, especially when they've like been around and grew up in your life, and that was like your voice of reason, somebody that you like talk to and get your advice from, to suddenly like no longer have them in your life, and it maybe could be something beyond your control. Like you just feel like why aren't we getting along, kind of thing. It hurts. So let's just see. How does Hilary, I don't want to shuffle anymore. How does Hilary feel about, I don't know what card flashed at you guys. I guess I will find that out back in the reading. That was for you to know, not me. But let's see what card comes out for Hilary Duff in this relationship with her sister. I like that. The Knight of Pentacles. Especially because it's facing the card that's going to represent her sister. She's already coming in wanting to make peace. It's like offering an olive branch almost. So let's see, how is her sister feeling in terms of their relationship. Ooh, yikes. Her sister is still in that energy with the Ten of Wands. So let's see what their block card is, since it seems like it is still going to be a closed off or one-sided resolution. The block card is the Four of Swords. So before I dive deep into that, let's see what the foundation is. The Five of Cups. I could believe that. The past card was the World. An interesting card to have in the past. Yep. Above is the Eight of Wands. I could also believe that. And let's see for the future. The Tower. Interesting. So what I see here, honestly, I almost want to jump right into the future before I get into the, you know what, let's just jump into the future. I hate to jump into the future, but I just recently learned a really good meaning about the Tower. And I like this because the Tower symbolizes, when you see it in the future, that if you don't tackle and handle something in this present moment, whether you're struggling to deal with it or whether you're not dealing with it, it's going to come up in the future as a problem that you should have dealt with. And it's going to kind of like not explode, but you know how they say when you bottle up emotions, eventually it's just going to blurt out, kind of thing. That's the energy that I'm seeing. And I see that whatever it is, and it's coming from the sister, obviously, not Hilary. Because if you look at the way the cards are, Hilary is the Knight of Pentacles and her sister's the Ten of Wands. Hilary is coming ready to bring offerings, ready to bring peace tidings and good cheers. But her sister is still looking at the burden, still looking at the whatever the beef is that she had towards her sister that caused them to stop talking in the first place. So because of that, it doesn't seem like there's going to be any progress moving forward. Hilary could still be even trying in this present moment because she really does truly love her sister. Because I see here at the very bottom, the Five of Cups shows that, like, yeah, there's 3 cups spilled over, but there's still 2 there. So that's exactly what the energy that I'm seeing is trying to come from. You know, when it's like that unrequited love. It's like Hilary's trying, and like she said, it hurts her, but you know, it's just so much trying, because it's like seeing the potential. It's like, yeah, there's the past, we had our problems, yeah, but we can always grow, we can always move forward, let bygones be bygones. We can choose to shake on it and say we're going to move forward and never acknowledge the past, literally close it, tuck it away, like they say, take it to our graves kind of thing, and we all move forward from it from here on out and never think about it, that never existed, that never happened kind of thing, so those feelings aren't there. And that's the energy that I feel like Hilary wants to move forward to, because like I said, the Three of Cups are knocked over, but the Two of Cups are not. So there's still a possibility. Like, let's not look at what isn't, and let's look at what is. We don't completely hate each other. So we have the possibility to make amends. It's just, how are we going to make amends when when one of us is currently stuck? And that's exactly what I see here with the block card, with the the Four of Swords, which usually symbolizes taking a sabbatical or a timeout. They've been on a timeout. I was going to say, yeah, you know what? Maybe they just need to really take some time to really think this through. Then I'm like, wait, hold up. It's been 6-7 years now. They've been thinking through this. I think it's time to stop waiting. The Four of Swords, that's their problem, is that they've been on a sabbatical, that they haven't been talking. And that's exactly why I said in the future, which I didn't mean to jump ahead of, guys, sorry. But it seems like it's coming back again before I even got there. So I was going to even talk about it, and then I would have been concurred to be like, oh, you know what? This is what the Tower could have represented. So the warning signs are literally flashing and warning in their faces. And you know what? Hilary literally could be feeling it. And this could be her like love letter to her sister. Be like, God, sis, I miss and love you so much, and I want to have a connection with you so much that I will write a song about it. I will bring it to the internet, not even trying to start a beef, but just as a plea to be like, sister, come on, can we please make amends? Like, what has gone wrong? What has gone awry? She even said it in her song. She's like, is it jealousy? She's just like, what is it? Please just talk to me. Can we have a communication? And there's just no communication. And when you don't have communication, you cannot move forward. If you cannot move forward, you're stuck in this energy. And when you're stuck in this energy, whatever you're trying to do moving forward, which is exactly what I see here in this present moment, which is the Eight of Wands, which always symbolizing moving on. And if you try to move on in this kind of energy and you didn't really actually tackle it head on, well, then it's going to rear its ugly head back again. So you might as well deal with it now. And maybe now is the time. This is the time before, Hilary finally washes her hands and be like, listen, sis, I tried all the I could. And then like her sister's going to come back and be like, well, why didn't we have this? She's like, okay, now I'm ready to have this like honest talk. And then Hilary's going to be like, I tried a few years ago back when I made that song, but you didn't want to have that conversation. And I don't want to have this conversation now because I don't want to reopen those wounds. Why didn't we have this conversation when the wounds were present in the moment? Kind of energy. So missed opportunity, and you don't want that missed opportunity, which this Tower card is saying. Whereas like that inevitable change that you won't be able to go back from. So it's like they say, it's now or never, because there is it is sooner than later, because you don't want later rather than sooner. Yes, you want sooner than later. I hope that made sense. But what I see here in the past is the World card, which honestly, I'm going to say the World card symbolizes the fact that the world got in between their relationship. And you're like, what? The world? Yeah, because not the fans, not the audience, just looking at Hilary glow up in the media, just looking at what, not saying that I didn't want to go down that route of jealousy, but that's what the world is giving me, besides the world becoming full circle. But how can you come full circle when we're starting in the past? So therefore the world is symbolizing that we're picking up at the end of a chapter / a new beginning of the chapter. And what was that? Allegedly when Hilary was becoming famous. Now I know that was way back in the past, but just thinking about those things could be still simmering, festering beneath the surface, right? And because of that, you can, when something's like that lurking beneath the surface within you, Haley, maybe you start acting out those feelings, and when you start acting out those feelings and you don't actually have conversations and you play avoidance, it can lead to a sense of a tower moment. So, all that to be said, because I was hot on fire. I definitely see that it's definitely trouble in paradise between Hilary and her sister, and I don't see that it's going to get any better. The tower is showing that it's not going to get any better. It has the chance to. The future isn't solidified. Her sister is the 10 of Wands. Haley just got to change that 10 of Wands energy around, because her sister, Hilary Duff, is already right there with the olive branch, the pentacles, with the Knight of a message saying, hey, I want to reconnect. I want to bring the family back together. I miss you, kind of thing, you know? Okay, since these cards wanted to come out, I wasn't planning to pick them, but let's humor ourselves. Why not? So the first card that came out was Anchor. Wow, by the way, these cards are in my hand. It's Anchor, Deep Waters, and Eclipse, and then Autumn. Well, we have yes, no, no, maybe. So 2 no's, 1 yes, and a yes, no. So that's like 2 yeses and 3 no's. So if we really want to really look at it, it's wavering more towards no. There's like a possibility, yes, but you know, when it's like that, it doesn't seem like it's going to get any better. But hey, let's look at the Anchor. First, what we see here is actually really great. But instead of it in this positive outlook, which usually symbolizes being grounded and being focused and on being like tunnel vision, kind of in this sense, that's not what I'm seeing the Anchor. I'm seeing the negative side of when you anchor down on something. You know, when you get a little too anchored into something and it's the wrong thing to get anchored into, but you're already anchored in it, so you anchor down on your anchor. That's the kind of thing that I'm getting here. And like I said, it's coming from Hilary. But hey, you know, it could have also been, like they say, it takes 2 people to make a beef. So for this beef here, you know, Hilary, maybe she doesn't know what it is. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. But maybe it could have been a little bit of something where she too could have been holding on to a little bit of something, and then she finally got over and it was like, you know what, this is really stupid and petty. Why am I mad at my sister for this? So now she's trying to like make amends, you know, kind of thing. But then for like maybe for the other sister, it's like blown completely out of proportion. You know how some people's feelings are really sensitive? Not saying that's her sister, but I'm just saying things like that can happen. And that's why I see that this Anchor can come from both sides. I don't want to completely make I don't want to completely make Haley out here to look like the monster. But I see here that deep water symbolizes that whatever it is going on between them, that it is deep. And it's way deeper than these cards are able to get into. And that's why I see that the struggle moving forward of patching and putting a Band-Aid over this is going to be much harder, because it's only going to be temporary. It's only going to be surface level. It's like, yeah, you can put the lid over the well, but that doesn't mean that there's still depths to that well. You just can't see it. So that's the sense that I'm getting. They're trying to put a Band-Aid over something that is way more deeper than they're wishing to acknowledge. And like I said, keep circling back. When you don't deal with certain things, well, period. When you don't deal with things, period, it can lead to a overflow, overwhelming, a sense of finally needing to be dealt with. Because in life, you can never truly ignore anything. Eventually, you're going to have to deal with it, no matter what it is. That's just the way cycles and astrology works, and life works too. So with that being said, speaking of astrology and the stars and the moon, we have the eclipse, which symbolizes that it's a period. Here it says protection and sensitivity, but also a dark period. But what I like about eclipse is that they are periods of symbolic transformation. And they are also two kind of like tower moments, where when an eclipse happens, it's like a permanent reversal change of energy where you're like moving forward and it's like the end of one cycle and the beginning of a new cycle, so you're only going to grow and evolve and elevate from here. So what I see here with this eclipse is that even though they aren't dealing with something, whatever it is, in due time is what they needed for it to happen and play out in this existence. Let's just say this was just fated and destined to happen in reality for some karmic reason that they have to work out spiritually. Sometimes they do go that way. Sometimes that's just the way life is, right? Especially when it just seems like it's one-sided, but we don't know the true reasons behind why they aren't talking, because it's all speculatory, because neither of them are talking about it or what it is. But Hilary just finally gave us a little touch on the nose of what it could possibly be, and it might be sibling jealousy. So what we see lastly here is an autumn, which is a fall back, which not great, which could be good. Maybe it could literally mean autumn, that like in the future, in the fall, like literally end of this year kind of thing, that they could like come together. There's a possibility of reconciliation, that like, yeah, now that even though they're at this point now, maybe sometime later in the future this year, they're going to be able to revisit and come back to this same theme again. So it's not like it's all fully over, and hopefully they might have done some growth between then, so that way the tower moment doesn't really happen. But that's all a maybe, as the card ends us off with. You like that? So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading on Hilary Duff and Hilary Duff's relationship, sibling relationship. Is it jealousy, rivalry? The cards are looking like it. But hey, you know what? Let me know down below in the comments, what do you think it is? What do you think the beef is? Do you think that Hilary is innocent? Do you think that Haley is the big bad monster? What? Let me know down below in the comments. Who do you think is in the wrong? Who do you think is in the right? Who do you think started the beef? Who do you think? Just all those different things. Let's get a conversation starting about this mysterious beef of the fallout between two sisters. So with that being said, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. It would really mean a lot to the channel. We would really appreciate it. Please and thank you. Give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. And like I said, leave your comments down below. And I do forget to say this. But let me remind you guys here, just in case there's any newbies watching. Hi, hello. If you're into news with tarot, if you're into celebrity news, if you're into pop culture, please share this video. Please subscribe first off. But please share this with anybody that's into that too. Or hey, if you're not into that kind of stuff, but you know somebody that's into that, play it forward. Sharing is caring. We would really appreciate it. And it's also really sharing and caring if you give us a subscribe. Thank you. And also like and comment. That gets us in the algorithm too, to get our videos circulating and let people know that this content is actually enjoyable and it's worth watching. So thank you for all that. And you know what I say before I completely sign us off? Hype us up. Subscribe to us. Hey, sunflowers.